Hello and welcome to Castle's Corner. I am Coach Castle. This is another Red Pill of Resistance exercise series video. Today it's about calf training. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the efficient and the inefficient, and how everything you know about calf training, as always, is completely wrong. Now, to anybody who has been watching these videos of mine, I would encourage you, please, you don't have to believe me. I know just about everything I'm saying is going to go completely against everything any personal trainer or coach or guru or YouTube celebrity or professional bodybuilder has ever told you. I'm very aware of that. That's why I'm making these videos as detailed as I'm able to, so I can dispel all of the lies, the ignorance, and the bullshit in the fitness industry. If these videos are helpful to you, please remember to like and share them, especially share them with personal trainers and coaches, as I do enjoy pissing them off. Specifically because hopefully if they're good trainers and coaches and they get this video, they'll learn from it and incorporate it in their training so they stop damaging their clients and stealing their money. It's doubtful, but it's a possibility. So please, like, subscribe, and share. Now, let's go ahead, and if you're ready to, take that red pill, get into the proper way to train the calves.
You must tirelessly work. I came from a place much darker than you, and I didn't use the snowflake mentality. I worked. So don't rely on anybody else, only rely on yourself.
Now, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is all of the exercises that you don't want to do for your calves and why. Top of this list will be any calf raise movement which is performed seated. Now, we'll get into that a little bit later, but for now, suffice to say that if you are attempting to exercise your calves and your legs are at an angle, here it is 90-degree angle or less or more, any form of an angle, you will not be training your calves correctly. Doesn't matter what the movement is. Like with all other muscles in the body, the calf can only contract from insertion to origin. And if you are contracting a muscle, which is already partially contracted, you will be removing half of the movement, half of the range of motion, half of the contraction. Obviously, we do not want to do this for our training, as we know full range of motion is superior. The next thing to speak on is the bounce reflex, which occurs in the tendons of the calf. The human body is an amazing machine and will do everything it can to preserve energy and reduce strain. When tendons are stretched rapidly, they store elastic energy. This is called the bounce reflex. Once they're in the bottom position of this movement, the spring is then released and snaps back rapidly, utilizing the elastic energy which had been stored in the rapid descending of the movement. This is important to know because when training calves, this is typically how most people do it. And if this is how you do your calf training, you are not training the muscle, you are simply training your tendons. You're basically getting no benefit to the muscle due to the fact that the muscle must be held in an isometric contraction to allow the tendons to work like springs. Now, these springs work and behave like this in every manner of the movement. It doesn't matter if you are jumping rope, if you are skipping or hopping or jumping. The only way to prevent this from happening is very simple. You have to go slowly. As you can see here very clearly, when it comes to resistance training, the reason the spring-like effect of the tendon is a problem is due to the fact that the muscle belly isometrically contracts to allow the tendons the spring-like effect. However, when it is performed slowly and deliberately, the tendons then freeze and the muscle is allowed to contract. This is what a muscle is supposed to do if you are attempting to grow it with strength training. I do not believe you are attempting to strengthen your tendons and make them bigger. Typically, the reason that people perform exercises for their calves is to make them larger. Therefore, now we know it must be done slowly, and it cannot be done in a seated position or in any angling of the legs. It should be mentioned that the reason most people go to the gym is to lose weight and to build muscle. If your primary goal is building muscle, then this is the way you want to be performing calf exercises, slowly and deliberately, under control, so as that the muscle is contracting and relaxing, not the tendons behaving like springs. Now let's talk about the correct way to train your calves. So we don't want to have them partially contracted, and we want to make sure that the leg is straight, and we want to make sure we're moving slowly and controlled, deliberate fashion so as to work the muscle, not the tendons. First thing, you must have a straight leg. Very simple. You could be doing this with a donkey raise, a leg press machine, a barbell on your shoulders, dumbbell held in your hand. It doesn't particularly matter as long as your body is rigid and straight and these two levers are operating as such. Next, we want to be moving slowly. Therefore, you're not using the tendons. So, the schema for performing calves slowly, the tempo is 1 second on your tippy toes, lower your heels for 4 seconds, then you're going to pause for 2 seconds to remove the bounce reflex, then you're going to rapidly put yourself back into the tippy toes position, and then pause, flexing, and repeat over and over. Now I guarantee you if you do this, and you do it exactly the way I just said, you're going to have a burn and a pain you've never had in your calves before, due to the fact that you are actually working them correctly. Most people's body weight is actually too heavy to be performing this movement, within their correct rep range of 12 to 20 reps for maximum hypertrophy. If this is the case, use a leg press machine or some other thing to lighten the load.
I've been gathering my thoughts. They are cattle, not a powerful, a gathering the flocks. Like an author in the final act, I'm mastering the plot. I've been down to hell and back, and now they'll see the hell I brought. Look what they're doing, they make you feel less than a human when we are the pinnacle. All our voices been muted, we listen to hate that they're spewing, yet we are the criminals. They don't know our story, don't know our pain, they think that we're boring, all us the same. But then they're afraid when we unafraid, and when we respond, you roll me the blame. I'm coming for you, a new world is upon us. It's past due to be honest. Survival of the strongest, and if that's true, and you're gone. All of the heroes are saving the shit. The world's warm till I'm shaving it sweet. The only people that he's saving is we, and the only person built to do it is me. You don't want it with me, I promise. You don't want it with me, I promise. We only going up, we only going up.
Don't believe anybody, even me. Don't believe what you read, don't believe what you hear. You're on your phone all day anyways. Take a minute, Google this information. You will see I'm 100% correctly. Stop wasting your time and your money and your safety in the gym the way you've been exercising.